To be back or not to be back? That is the question. Terrible impression. I'm sorry. Terminator 6 is headed your way, or as it's known right now, Terminator Dark Fate. The movie is set to come out November 1st of 2019, and with the movie being about 8 months away, I figured why not round up all the information and give it here for you. I'll be showing you set photos, behind the scene videos, breaking down the cast, possible plot speculation, just anything and everything you need to know about Terminator Dark Fate. Before jumping right into it, we have to talk about this messy timeline that's going on with it. What films are canon right now with this new Terminator movie? Well, lucky for you, you only have to watch the first two Terminator movies, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, and Terminator Genisys are now stripped away and are no longer canon. James Cameron in an interview said that these movies will be treated as sort of a bad dream or taking place in a parallel dimension. And with a franchise that deals with time travel, yeah, that can be pretty plausible. Part of me is kind of sad because Terminator 3 had a special place in my heart, but I guess Sparkle Glass's Terminator was just not good enough. And yes, James Cameron, the director of the first two movies, is coming back as a producer, and he's being more heavily involved in this movie than the past Terminator films. The director of this movie will be Tim Miller. He is known for directing the very first Deadpool movie, and come on, that's just good news to us. He's also co-writing this movie, and this also gives me a little bit of faith because that means to me they're going back to an R rating for this Terminator franchise. Because if you didn't know, Terminator Genisys was PG-13, and I miss me some bloody robot kills. It's also said that if this movie does well and fans take a liking to it and it makes money, that they plan a 3-film arc. So this would be the first, and if it does good, you'll get 2 more. Breaking down the cast of what's going on, returning characters, we have Linda Hamilton coming back. She was the driving force of this Terminator franchise for me, and I'm so happy that she's finally back because I'm thinking that's why they got rid of Terminator 3, because they killed her off screen. If you don't know yet, there was a line in there where it said that she died in Mexico and her ashes were buried there. In this movie, she'll be coming back. She will be in Mexico, but she's well alive, and even though age has taken a number on her, she's still going to be the badass we know her to be. From there, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger also coming back because it's not a Terminator movie without him involved in some sort of way. But in an early interview, James Cameron did say that Arnold will be playing a completely different role than he's used to. For the first time ever, Arnold is actually going to be playing a human character in this movie. It's said that this movie will explore who the Terminators are based off of, more specifically the T-800s. Because you have to think they got that DNA somewhere to put that fleshy skin over the T-800. So this movie will explore the human character that Terminator is based off of. And we know that has to be a human Arnold right there because we know it's canon that Terminator Arnold is only allowed to wear a leather jacket. However, don't let that fear you because most likely Arnold is also going to go up as a Terminator. In some behind the scene videos, he is credited as a T-800, also on IMDb as a T-800. And for final proof that he's going to Terminator up in this movie, we have Brett Asher, who plays the body double of a younger Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was the body double that they used in Terminator Genisys. So he is set to come back to be the body double again for Arnold. So that means to me, human Arnold versus Terminator Arnold. If you don't know, quick fun fact, Terminator 3 games actually did explore this and try to explain where the Terminator came from, and there was a hillbilly Arnold. It was just a quick little scene, but Arnold had a little southern accent and he was running on a treadmill doing tests for Skynet. Moving on, one of the last non-sort of confirmed actors that will be sort of coming back for this movie is a young John Connor. Unfortunately, Edward Furlong, who portrayed John Connor in Terminator 2, is not set to come back, but a younger version who resembles Edward Furlong is set to come back. You can see him here sitting with Arnold's body double, Brett Asher, and it looks like they came in to do some CGI work, some mocap work. So there will probably be flashbacks to a young John Connor, or there will be time travel involved where they have to go get young John Connor from Terminator 2 or something like that. Because as of this far, this is the only thing confirming that John is involved in this movie. Other than that, he's got to be there somewhere because last time we saw him in Terminator 2, he was alive and well with his mother. I have 2 little quick theories on that. Either this movie revolves around them trying to find John Connor, sort of like what The Force Awakens did, where he's hiding out somewhere, and the movie will end with them finding them, kind of Luke Skywalker style. Or because they thought they ended Judgment Day in Terminator 2, that he went off, stayed in America, raised a family, became soft, and is now no longer fit to be this general to lead the resistance when the Terminators attack. Bringing us to some of the new characters involved in this movie. For one, we have Mackenzie Davis, who's going to be playing race, and she's described as an assassin soldier from the future. She'll be traveling back in time with a mission. No idea what that is. My guess is either protect Linda Hamilton or protect some of the new cast members in this movie. We're not sure yet if she is human or a Terminator. If you look at these behind the scene images, she definitely has scars on her that gives us the impression that she might be both, a cyborg. We've had that happen before with Terminator Salvation, so they could be doing that again. Next up, we have Natalie Reyes, who's going to be playing Dani Ramos. Dani Ramos is a young woman in her early 20s from Mexico City. She was brought up in a working class neighborhood, is independent, believes in strong family. She's more street smarts than book smarts, and is a woman who always manages to find a ray of light even in the darkest of circumstances. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds to me like your new John Connor. So I'm thinking that this individual is a new person Linda Hamilton is going to be training, is going to be giving the steps to eventually become the leader for the Resistance. Because like I said, I'm thinking John left the picture way back thinking, Terminator's over, I can live a normal life, I can be a person, making him soft, making him no longer fit to be the general of the Resistance. And part of this movie will also be taking place in Mexico City, which also brings us to the new Terminator villain in this film, Gabriel Luna. If you don't know, he was Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show. There's a behind-the-scene photo right here of Gabriel Luna playing guitar on the street. People are wondering, why would a Terminator need to play guitar? Is this a new type of Terminator that has learning capabilities? And come on, guys, be a Terminator fan and use your mind. This is most likely an early scene before the Terminator comes from the future to the past, comes in contact with this human version, and then takes away its appearance, just like in Terminator 2 with a T-1000. So that's my guess, is that this new Terminator is also a T-1000, or it could be a new Terminator, but I'm guessing it's going to take the appearance of that civilian who just happens to look like Gabriel Luna. And I mean, this makes sense. With the movie taking place in Mexico City, you get a Mexican Terminator because in Mexico, you're going to find Mexicans. But that's all we really know as officially confirmed stuff. Let me get into some speculation about what might be going on in this movie. Now, I highly believe that they're going to do a lot of time traveling in this movie, or at least some time traveling into the future, sort of like Terminator Salvation, where that whole movie took place in the future. My main reason for believing that is a couple of things. One, in this behind the scene video that they showed in Hungary, where they were filming a lot of the movie, you get to see a lot of little snippets, and there's a lot of information in here. For one, you get to see a couple of people in futuristic outfits that look like soldiers from the future. You get to see Linda Hamilton wearing a crew neck sweater that says Liberator. Now, that just could be something that's off camera that she wears when she's not shooting, but I have to believe that has something to do with the movie. You also get to see a military Hummer in there. A little side note thing that I saw here that I thought was kind of cool, you could see in the behind the scene video that there's a dog here with Arnold, and we know why they keep around dogs, because they let you know when the Terminator is around, and being that Arnold is petting that dog right there, he's most likely not a Terminator, or he's been around long enough that the dog doesn't care that he's a Terminator. But I mean, you also see ICE officers who are at the border patrol, so again, there's going to be probably some crossing into America and has to deal with that. You see Arnold in what looks like a military jacket, and it looks like he's wearing some sort of dog tags that he's hiding under his shirt, so this Terminator model that he's based off of could be a military man. And I mean, if you just look at all this set, aside from the blue screen, that doesn't look like a typical place in Mexico. That feels like a facility or the hideout for the Resistance in the future. One thing I want to point out here, Tim Miller is hugging what looks like an extra or a stunt double, but he definitely resembles Edward Furlong to me, but I think that's a woman. But everything so far sounds fine to me. I have no problem with the female being the new John Connor, if that happens to be the case. Of course, I love that Linda Hamilton is coming back in some way. I just feel the franchise needs to go back to its horror roots. If you don't know, rewatch that first Terminator movie. It's very much a horror movie where the Terminator is basically a slasher killer. But then again, I mean, that was all turned around with Terminator 2 being just a straight up action movie, one of the best of its kind. So there's a lot of shoes to fill in there, and I don't know if director Tim Miller is able to do that. This definitely has my attention, and I'm wondering where it could be going and what it's setting up for future installments. You also have to wonder, there's got to be some sort of twist in there, because so far every Terminator movie has a little twist in it. So I'm thinking the twist is probably going to be that this woman is the new John Connor. Also curious to see what kind of Terminator Gabriel Luna is going to be, because every time a new Terminator movie comes out, they give us a different kind of Terminator. I just don't know how different you can be from a standard T-800, a liquid metal one, a one with nanobots. Very little I think you can do now. I think now it's time to just focus on your story, focus on where it's going, forget all the little gimmicky, twisty time travel stuff, and just give us an action-packed or a horror-thrilled movie. Give me blood, give me guts, give me Terminators ripping their arms off like Terminator 2. Give me something I can look forward to adding onto this mantle. I'm just excited to see what this movie will turn out like. But last thing I'll say about this Terminator movie is, look, this is the last chance the Terminator franchise has before it just plummets to the ground, man. If this movie does not work out, if it fails, fails, hell, I just want it to be decent, because after this, if this does not work out, we're not going to see the Terminator franchise for a long time, and when we do, it's going to be a reboot all the way back to the first movie, because no way they can keep explaining why old Arnold is showing up and having to have all these retcons and different timelines. No, this is the last chance the Terminator franchise has, and I trust Tim Miller will give us a good movie. I'm really looking forward to it, and when more information comes out, you can bet I'll be doing an update for you guys. So be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. Let me know what you think about this Terminator movie. Any speculation, any guesses to what's going on, anything and everything, I'd love to hear it. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.